Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a poor miller who wanted to impress the king. In a moment of foolish boasting, he told the king that his daughter could spin straw into gold. The king, intrigued and greedy, summoned the miller's daughter to his castle. The young girl was brought before the king, and he led her to a room filled with straw. He gave her a spinning wheel and said, "If you do not spin all this straw into gold by morning, you shall die." Then he locked the door and left her alone. The poor girl sat down and began to weep, for she had no idea how to spin straw into gold. As she cried, the door creaked open, and a strange little man appeared. He wore a tattered cloak and had a mischievous twinkle in his eye. "Why are you crying, my dear?" he asked. The girl explained her predicament, and the little man nodded thoughtfully. "What will you give me if I spin this straw into gold for you?" he asked. "I have nothing to give," she replied, "but I can offer you my necklace." "That will do," said the little man. He took the necklace, sat down at the spinning wheel, and in no time at all, the room was filled with spools of glistening gold thread. In the morning, the king was amazed and delighted, but his greed only grew. He took the miller's daughter to a larger room filled with even more straw and demanded she spin it into gold by the next morning if she valued her life again. The girl began to weep. And once more, the little man appeared. "What will you give me if I spin this straw into gold for you?" he asked. "I can give you my ring," she said. "That will do," he replied. He took the ring and set to work, spinning all the straw into gold thread. By morning, the king was beside himself with greed. He took the girl to an even larger room, filled with even more straw, and said, "If you can spin all this into gold by tomorrow, you shall become my queen." He locked the door and left her alone. For the third time, the little man appeared. "What will you give me if I spin this straw into gold for you?" he asked. "I have nothing left to give," she replied. "Then promise me your firstborn child when you become queen," he said. In her desperation, the girl agreed. The little man spun all the straw into gold, and the next morning, the king was so pleased that he married the miller's daughter. A year later, the new queen gave birth to a beautiful child. She had forgotten about her promise to the little man until he appeared in her chamber, demanding her baby. The queen was horrified and begged him to let her keep her child. The little man, seeing her distress, felt a twinge of pity. "I will give you 3 days," he said. "If you can guess my name, you may keep your child." The queen agreed, and for 3 days, she guessed every name she could think of, but none were correct. On the 3rd day, a messenger came to the queen, saying he had seen a strange little man dancing around a fire in the forest, singing, "Tonight, tonight, my plans I make, tomorrow, tomorrow, the baby I take. The queen will never win the game, for Rumpelstiltskin is my name." When the little man returned that night, the queen pretended to think hard. "Is your name Conrad?" she asked. "No," he replied. "Is it Harry?" "No," he laughed. "Is it Rumpelstiltskin?" The little man's face turned red with rage. "The devil told you that! The devil told you that!" he screamed. In his fury, he stamped his foot so hard that it broke through the floor, and he disappeared into the ground, never to be seen again. The queen lived happily ever after with her child, grateful for the fortunate turn of events that had saved her family, and that is the tale of Rumpelstiltskin.